Well, welcome everyone to our new seminar, Fly. It's lovely to have you here. And of course at the Brisbane Airport, where else would we hold it? I do hope that you found it relatively easily and it wasn't too much trouble to get here tonight. I want to show of hands, who in the room has been here before? Put your hand up.
To the Pullman?
No. I've been here before, so I could find it easily. Who's been to one of my seminars before? Show of hands. And for who is it your first time? Oh, I'm so happy for you. Well done. Well, we're going to have a wonderful night tonight. As you will discover, that we don't really know where this is going to go. No, I do have a plan. But it's going to be interactive, you're going to get to know people, and before you arrived tonight we had a little Q&A session with my clients. We have an hour before any seminar, we do a client mix and mingle, and we're doing a Q&A discussion. And Gary had a great question of what is it like to go to Paradigm Shift or go to an event with Bob Proctor where you've got 400 or 500 people in the room. And I said, you know, as you can imagine, when you've got a group of people thinking at that higher level and energy, and thoughts are energy, and that the frequency and energy in that room is just palpating. And it's such a great space when you're in a room with creative thinkers who are thinking at that higher level to start to really do work on your goals and dreams, but also ask yourself some questions. If there is something that's been going on for you, if there's some decisions you need to make, you know, ask yourself that question in this environment, because you're tapped into, you know, really, really powerful energy here tonight. And it's so much easier to make those decisions and receive those answers when you're in the room than when you leave. Because when you leave, you're back into present circumstance, you're back into paradigm, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So really open your mind. You're here for a reason. You've been attracted into this for a reason. Open your mind, stay present as we move through this, and really let the higher side of you flow through. So to kick off that impression of increase, this evening we are going to do our lucky door prize at the start of the night. Isn't that a great idea? So I want to bring Nicole up, and are we doing one or two? One. So someone in the room is going to win a little gift pack of goodies. So what have we got in there?
We've got...
All right, we'll explain what's in here first. So this is a goal achieving activities pad that clients get when they join the coaching. But this is to keep you really focused, because you cannot manage time, you can only manage activity. So starting to get really focused on what it is that you want and looking at how you construct your day to take you there. We're giving you a little gratitude pad. Gratitude hooks you up to the source of supply. So you've got a little gratitude pad in there. We have one of Bob's books. You Were Born Rich. Has anyone read this or studied this book? So one of the first books that he wrote. Do you know that when he wrote the manuscript for this, it was on a typewriter, and he left it in a taxi one day and it all flew out the window, the entire book, and he had to rewrite it again. And he rewrote it again by forming the discipline of getting up half an hour earlier every day to write the book, and that's how he produced You Were Born Rich. If you're looking to write a book, the lovely Bev Ryan is in the room, and she can help you publish your first or second or third book, so you can chat to Bev. We have just a journal notepad here as well for you to write in. And you know what? I think we should include a lunch. So I'm going to include why not? A mentoring lunch. So I'll take you out to lunch in a lovely restaurant, and you and I will catch up and have a chat about your goals and make a plan for you to move forward. How does that sound?
Right.
Yeah. So whoever wins this will do a lunch as well. Let's add a book. Yes. Smart Women Publish. Recently published. Because we're smart. All right. So has everyone got their lucky door ticket? Yes? Beautiful. It is number E38. Yay! Come on up. Oh, here it is. Beautiful. All right, what's your name?
My name is Lara.
Lara, nice to meet you. Have you come with Jodie?
I can't wait to have lunch.
I know, it's going to be fun. All right, there's your little lucky ticket.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Is it too loud for everyone else? It's fine for me. Is it all right? Great. All right, that's good. Well, I'm really excited about that. All right, let's get into it. So, 3 little words: aviate, navigate, and communicate. As a pilot, I learnt to fly in 2011, and I also grew up around aviation. So hence the reason why going back to something I really love, because you know what? When you're talking about things that you love and things that you really love to do, you're going to be in a great vibration, aren't you? So I was like, why not combine personal development with aviation? Because I know it really well, and we can really talk about it in terms of learning to fly, flying in bigger aircraft. Who would love to fly in a private jet? Has anyone flown in a private jet before? Who would like to make that like a daily habit? Yeah, right? So we're straight away there. We're already soaring to breathtaking new heights. Would you agree? Exactly. So I want you to elevate your thinking tonight to private jet level, all right? Business goals, life goals. You don't have to want to buy the private jet. Just using that to get you to think about really making a quantum leap with how you're thinking. And we have 3 little words in aviation: aviate, navigate, and communicate. So we're going to be looking at each of these and their different elements tonight. And I'm going to be helping you to see how you can really create something magnificent, that next level goal in your life. And it doesn't matter what level you're at right now. I promise you that if you open your heart and mind to what I'm going to share and teach with you tonight, and you act on it, you can quite literally take yourself anywhere you want to go. But it starts with aviate. So as a pilot, the first thing that you must do is aviate. Before you think about that destination that you want to get to, before you think about, getting on the radio or talking to anyone else, you must be in control of that aircraft. It is your first and number 1 priority. You must take control and be in control. And we have to do exactly the same thing in life. We have to do exactly the same thing in our businesses, in our careers. Be completely in control of that aircraft. Aircrafts are powerful. If you're not in control of it, what could happen? You crash. You die. And you know what? People are crashing and dying a slow death every day because they're not in control. We have within our own mind and our own body something far more powerful than the most powerful jet ever created in the universe. And 97% of the population are not in control of it. We're not in control of the way we think. We're not focused. We don't understand how to control this magnificent machine that we have in our mind and our body. And so we have to make a decision to really take control. Before we can do anything else, before we worry about the how, before we worry about the time, the money, if it will ever happen, is just to get in control and to be completely in control. Because if we're not, we're spinning out of control. Now, it might not really feel like that. It can have a subtle effect in life, but that is actually what's happening. Slowly but surely, we're spinning out of control, until the spin becomes so fast that it's irrecoverable and you crash. That's exactly what happens in aviation. If you don't take back control of that aircraft, the moment that you stall it, that you drop a wing, if you don't put the right inputs in the control column with the rudder, then you can't recover it. You don't worry about still trying to get to your destination or getting on the radio. Your first thing is to get back in control of that aircraft. And that's exactly what we have to do in life. Once we are in control, we've got to think about navigate. Where are we now and where do we want to get to? And that's exactly the same. We've got to know where we are and where we want to get to. As a pilot, I never go out to my aircraft and go, I might just hop in today and go for a spin. There's usually somewhere I want to go. I've actually made a decision about where I want to get to. And I've set the intention to get there. I might have setbacks, turnbacks, bad weather, things go a little wrong, but that doesn't stop me from getting to my destination. How often have you in the past decided you want to go there and you've experienced setbacks, turnbacks, a little bit of bad weather, something not quite go right, and you've abandoned it? You give up on it. You don't do that in aviation. You don't do that as a pilot. And you're the pilot of your own life, your own business. You find another way. You deviate. You go around the obstacle. You go over it. You don't abandon it. And so we've got to know where we're starting from and where we want to get to. Without that information, we can't decide on fuel calculations, on passenger payload. We don't look at the weather and then think, can I or will I? We've already decided where we want to go, and then we look at the circumstance. What do I need to do to get there? So I want you to think about that tonight. Where are you now, and where do you want to get to? What's your dream? What's your goal? What is the good that you desire to bring about in your own life? We need both the starting point and the end point to get anywhere. And communicate. So once we're in control of the aircraft, once we know where we are and where we're going, then and only then do we communicate our position to air traffic control, to other aircraft, to anything going on outside. In an emergency landing, if I have an engine failure, which fortunately, touch wood, has never happened, only in simulation, you get in control of the aircraft, you decide where you're going to land the aircraft, so where you've got to navigate to, and only once you have set the aircraft into that pattern do you then communicate your intentions or anything else that you're going to do. You make your mayday call or your pan call. So communicate is the last thing that we do. And there's a few ways we have to look at this in life. We have to communicate our intentions to ourselves and to our subconscious mind, because it's from your subconscious mind that all of your results are created. So you can't get to where you want to go until we transform that intention into a new belief, into a new paradigm in your subconscious mind, so that it can influence your behavior, your vibration, and start to impact your results. So we're first of all communicating it to ourselves, our vision of where we want to go or where we are relative to that position of what's going to happen next. We've got to be clear on that within ourselves before we can lead our partners along, our family along, our employees along, our community along. And then we communicate it to everybody else. We don't get on the radio and say, oh, I think, I'm not sure. Let me just get back to you in a second once I've figured out where I'm going to land. But that's what we do to ourselves all the time. That's what we do to people around us because we're not sure. And so the clearer we can get on all of these little pieces of the puzzle, the more effective we become, the more effective pilots of our own life, captains of our own destiny. Aviate, navigate, and communicate. Where does it start? It starts with a decision. You have to make a decision around the kind of results you want to create. You have to make a decision around what you really want. Now, if you're sitting in the room right now and you're like, I'm not sure what I really want, just imagine if you did know what you want. What do you think you'd think about? Play a game with yourself. It really works. What do you think you would love? What kind of results would you love to create in your career, in your business, in your life? What does your next quantum leap look like? A quantum leap is skipping levels. What does that look like? And really lean into it. What is it that you really want? Because that's where everything starts. For so long, I grew up in a family of pilots and I always wanted to get my pilot's license. And for so long I thought, oh, I don't have the time to do that. I've got to keep growing this business. I don't have the money. I've got to keep putting that money back into the business. I've got a mortgage. I've got all these other things that really command my attention. I can't afford to do that. Until one day I realised enough is enough. And I made a committed decision to do it. And I made a start. And I got my first flying lesson under my belt. And I thought I would take the very logical, rational approach of doing one flying lesson a week for 52 weeks, and eventually I'd get my pilot's license. Well, I'll tell you what happened. I was hooked. Hook, line and sinker. I think I did 5 or 6 lessons in the first week, and you know what? I found the money. Because I was committed. I'd backed it with an intention. Everything that you need to support you to get to where you want to go can be found and will only be revealed to you on the other side of that committed decision. I was sharing today that the more I've studied this subject of decision, I've realised that it's not just enough to make a committed decision, you have to back it with the intention to bring about exactly what you want. Now, I reckon this is Kate. Come on in, Kate. Come and join us. You have to back it with committed intention. You're going to make the committed decision and then say, this I will do. Name it and claim it. Fuse with it. So what is it that you really want? What is it that you would love? Not what you think you can do, not what someone else says you should do, because all of that is circumstance, all of that is paradigm, as I'll teach you tonight. What is it that you would love? And start to become aware of the thoughts, the feelings and the ideas that are percolating, bubbling up within inside you right now. Because that is who you really are. That is your truth. That is the higher side of you seeking expression to and through you. Don't shut it down. Don't dismiss it. Really lean into it, because that's where the magic happens. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. I remember when I wrote my first book with Bev Ryan back in 2013, and I was looking at pitching myself, right? Putting myself forward to speak at an event in Qatar, over in the Middle East, the Qatar International Businesswomen's Forum. And at that time, a few thoughts crossed my mind. Should I or shouldn't I? What does a girl from Birdsville, a town of 100 people in the middle of Queensland, have to offer something like that? Why would they want me? Why wouldn't they? Like, who are you to think that you're not worthy of something? You're God's highest form of creation. There's a power flowing to and through you that'll take any idea you turn over to it and bring it into physical form. Like, there is more power in your little finger than is required to light up this room for an entire week. Like, you are powerful beyond measure. So it's not who you think you're not. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. You might have this dream, this desire, this goal within you right now, and you're thinking, that's too big for me. It's too beyond me. You have the fact that you could even see the glimmer of it means that you have the power and potential to bring it into form. But it will require committed decision backed with intention, because otherwise we stay in circumstance. So on your table, I've given you some 8 questions. We're going to take 5-10 minutes now to really start to tune in and really think. And you know, mental activity does not constitute thinking. You can be busy upstairs but not being creative. You can have a lot going on but not be actually thinking. Thinking requires the conscious use of your reasoning factor, one of your 6 mental faculties. So I want you to take some time now, even if you've answered these questions before. That might have been 6 months ago, 12 months ago. Do them for where you are now and where you want to go, and start to become aware of what it is that you really want. So we're going to take 5-10 minutes to work through these questions. don't know whether you've noticed your little quote card that we've given you. How good is that quote? Aerodynamically, the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly, but the bumblebee doesn't know it, so it goes on flying anyway. Like if you knew you couldn't fail, that you could do what you want to do and have what you want, what would you go after? What would you love to create? The bumblebee doesn't know it, so it goes on flying anyway. Why is it that we limit ourselves? We think we can't create things because of paradigms. We're going to get into that. Because of status quo, because of our environment, because of what we see other people doing, and we compare ourselves to other people. Don't be like the 97% of the population that do that. You know, be in that top 3% who are really making magic happen. You have the potential, the resources are available, the opportunity is there. What has been missing is your decision to go for it. That's it. That is absolutely it. When I did a discovery session with one of Bob Proctor's coaches nearly 5 years ago, and he said in that discovery session that, Karen, you have the power and the potential to turn your annual income into a monthly income, I nearly fell off my chair. No one had ever opened my mind to the point of even entertaining that that was a possibility. I was setting very logical, very rational goals in my business. I was self-employed since I was 18. I had a photography business. I then started a branding and marketing company, which I ran for 8 years, and then moved more into that traditional business coaching kind of space. But I always knew that there was something missing. And it wasn't until I started to study this material that I realized, oh, that's the secret. I get it now. That's the missing piece of the puzzle. Not the secret as in The Secret, the movie, by the way. That's not the missing piece of the puzzle. But this whole idea of having to work at the root cause. And if we're not working at the root cause, it doesn't matter what else we go out and do. And the reality is that you do have the power, the potential, the resources. Everything is available to you, but you cannot access it until you make a decision around what it is that you want. And don't leave that in the room tonight. If I can give you one piece of advice, that if you take this piece of advice and you act on it and you live it, is to commit to yourself the decisions and the action that you are going to take before you leave those doors tonight, before you walk through there. Because it is much easier to take action and make decisions when you're in this vibration, in this creative vibration, than it is when you get home or tomorrow at work, or when the kids are sick, or the cat dies, or the car breaks down, or you get that check in the mail, because you'll forget about this. Because present circumstance has such a hold on the way you think and operate that it takes discipline, it takes energy to think truth, to think about what you want in the presence of those circumstances. But it's easier to do it here because we're all tapped in. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about your goals. And we refer to 3 types of goals in my coaching: A, B, and C type goals. An A type goal is doing something you've done before. You can do it again. Put on the weight, lose the weight. Sell the house, buy the same house. Drive the car, sell the car, buy the same car again. Take the same holiday, the same trip. There's no growth attached. A B type goal is what you think you can do, or it's what you need to do, or it's where you look back over previous results, past circumstance, and you look at all of that and you look at yourself and you say, well, based on that, I think I can get to here. Your past results don't have to have any bearing on what you can create over the next month, the next 6 months, unless you let it. And you have been letting it. You have been letting your past results in your business, in your relationships, in your personal life influence what you think you can create next. A C-type goal is what you really want. It's what you would love. And it should be a fantasy for you right now. You have never accomplished this goal and you don't know how to, but you would love it. It probably scares and excites you at the same time, at the prospect, at the picture of this actually happening in your life. And it will be enough to sustain you through the change and the growth process. Because all of our results on the outside are a product of what's going on the inside. If we want to get better results and improve the quality of our life on the outside, we have to improve the inside first. And the only thing that will sustain us in doing that for long enough to actually physically manifest the good that we desire is a worthy goal. It's a C-type goal. So we're going to think about that now tonight. What do you really want? Remember, you are giving no thought as to how you are going to get it, if you will ever get it, if the right resources and opportunities turn up at the right time for you. But do not let any limitations in your mind hold you back. The average person's mind is so locked up in limitations that they never even permit themselves to go to that place of desire. Which is why the question of what would you love is so powerful. Because we get out of paradigm when we think about what we would love. And so on your notepad or with your little notepad there tonight, I want you to think about what you would love and what do you really want. If you were to imagine your life 6 to 12 months from now, imagine your business 6 months, 12 months from now, what kind of results would you love to create? Would you like to turn your annual income into your monthly income? Would you like to buy a bigger, beautiful house? Would you like to take your family on a luxury holiday to Italy? Would you love to run an ultra marathon like I did, 150 kilometres across the Simpson Desert in Australia, having never run before? Like really challenge yourself to do something that you've never done before, that you don't even know how you're going to do it, but you know you're going to have to grow to get there and it's beautiful. What would you love? What do you really want? Have a think about that, a couple of minutes. Write down any thoughts, any ideas that come to mind around this. So you think in pictures. So we're going to do an exercise around this. And your goal is not what you just wrote down. It is a picture. That's my aeroplane. When I think about my goal, that's the picture. I visualize myself flying it out to Birdsville on a beautiful crisp winter's morning, walking out to that aeroplane, 6 a.m, the dew, and I run my hand down the edge of the leading edge of the wing, and that cool, crisp dew on my fingers, I'm wearing jeans and R.M. Williams boots and a white shirt and a blue blazer and a white Pilates cap. It's a picture. I see it. I feel it. I unlock the front door and I pull it down. And I get the aircraft ready. Meanwhile, my husband and my 2 children and my mum and dad are walking out that airplane. We're about to take off and go on holidays. We've flown out to pick them up. It's a picture. It's not what you wrote down. What you wrote down is a trigger for you to think about the picture. You have this power flowing to and through you, and by virtue of the pictures and the ideas that you dwell on, you give that energy form. And you are bringing about the physical manifestation of the pictures that you hold in your mind. So make damn certain they are what you want, because you are bringing about something right now in your life. And if you are not focused and holding the picture of what you want, you are going to get exactly where you are heading. Make no mistake about it. This is an exact law and exact science. So we think in pictures. So I'm going to help you now get some clarity around what that picture actually looks like. So I want you to put down your pen and I'm going to take you through a visualization exercise. I want you to close your eyes. Sit up straight in your chair, get really comfortable. And as you're doing this exercise with me tonight, I don't want you to see yourself as a third person. I don't want you to be on the balcony looking down at yourself in this picture. I want you to see this picture through your own eyes as you move about this picture. Has everyone got that? Yes? 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 Yes, yes, yes. So you are actually participating in this picture as you move through it, and you are visualizing and seeing as though you are seeing through your own eyes. Now I want you to imagine that there is this beautiful lavender energy, this beautiful, beautiful lavender energy that's flowing in through the crown of your head, down through the back of your nose, into your throat, down through your neck. This beautiful, powerful, potent lavender energy, and it's just filling your body, and it's moving all the way down into your belly, down into your hips, down through the back of your knee, all the way down, out through your feet, right in to the center of the earth. And you are so connected with this energy that's just flowing to and through you. And the truth is that you are connected to this energy, and with this energy you make your world. And any picture that you build and you can see in your imagination, that you turn over to this energy, you give this picture a motion, and with repetition it starts to move into form. So I now want you to call to mind the picture of what you want. It is a part of you, you are a part of it. You are now one with the good that you desire. And I want you to move about this picture of what you see. And through your own eyes, I want you to look around and notice what you see. Notice who's around you, what they look like. Look at your environment. Where are you? Your goal is a part of you, and you are a part of it. You are bringing about in this very moment, right here, you are setting the creative forces in action to bring you the good that you desire. Without action, that goal cannot be born. As you move about this picture, through your own eyes, I want you to notice. Notice your surroundings. What do you see? Is anyone with you? I want you to notice how you are feeling. As you move about this picture through your own eyes, how are you feeling in your body right here, right now? What are you saying to yourself right here, right now? You are living your goal, what you really want, what you would love, you have already created. Your imagination is your real self. How do you feel? What do you see? Now, in this picture, I want you to imagine forward. I want you to go past this present moment that you have been imagining, and I want you to imagine 2, 3, 4 months further past this goal that you have accomplished, this love that you have brought into your life. And I want you to imagine a situation, a circumstance, a result that can only happen as a result of you accomplishing that goal. This situation, this result, can only happen, this experience can only happen as a result of you accomplishing that goal, creating the physical manifestation of what you would love. What is it that you are experiencing in that future space? What do you see in your imagination? What is the experience that you can only have after you have accomplished that goal? And understand this, that your imagination is your real self. As we build ideas in our conscious mind and we turn them over to our subconscious mind, your subconscious mind is totally deductive, which means it can only accept. So right now you are planting seeds in the garden of your mind. Now, if you don't nurture them, if you don't make the right decisions, if you don't act on them, they will die for lack of nourishment. But these seeds, these spiritual seeds that you have built as ideas in your conscious mind, as you turn them over to your subconscious mind, the second you make that decision, you fuse with the feeling, you are bringing your goal into form and the experience that you can only have after the fact. Say to yourself, this I will do. I am worthy of it, and it is done. It is done. And in your own time, you can open your eyes, and I want you to write out. Make some notes of how you felt. What did you see? What was that experience? And write it down. Capture that memory. that picture is paradigm. That's it. When you learn how to change the paradigm and continue to change the paradigm and keep making that paradigm shift, your results will get better and better and better. That's it. So let's talk a little bit about paradigm. So a paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over your habitual behaviour. And almost all of your behaviour is habitual. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, there's a routine that you move into, isn't there? If you live with someone, you'd be able to make a written description of their routine, and if you're smart, you don't screw around with it. Because people love routine. We become creatures of habit. 96 to 98% of all of your thoughts, ideas, behaviours come from your subconscious mind. And only 2 to 4% of the way you operate is conscious, which means we're a walking, talking product of what is programmed in our subconscious mind. And most of that you didn't even put there. Your paradigms are programmed genetically and environmentally. You pick them up from your parents, you pick them up from your environment, your partner, your kids, wherever. We left our mind, our subconscious mind, wide open. I don't know whether you ever had that lesson in year 9 where you were sat down and taught how to shut off your subconscious mind and not let all of these false ideas or preconceptions about what you can do and how you can create things. I didn't take that lesson. Oh, yeah, exactly. This should be taught in schools. It's not, but we're working on it, aren't we, Sarah Bascom?
Yeah.
This is the problem. So we have a mental computer and paradigms screw it up. We have this perfect, beautiful mental computer that will output any idea, give us any result we really want, but we're operating with old paradigms. We're operating with on an old system. And we have to upgrade the system. What happens when you don't upgrade your computer for a while? It slows down, gets viruses on it. Does it work as effectively? Doesn't quite give you what you want anymore, does it? Do we want to get a new computer? Sometimes. What happens when we get the new computer and we take it out of the box and we have to learn how to use this new computer and load up all the programs? What do we want to do? Get the old computer back out because we know it. Isn't that so true? So of course we want the brand spanking brand new computer. Everyone does. When we get it, we've got to load these new programs onto it. We've got to learn how to use it. We're like, oh, what the heck? I'll just get the old one back out and use that. It doesn't quite work properly. It doesn't quite give me what I want, but I know how to use it. So I'll just settle for the kind of results I can get using that old computer. Ain't that the truth? That's exactly what we do with our life. Don't kid yourself. We do this. You do it, you do it, you do it. We all do this until we become aware of how to not do it anymore. How to build the new paradigm, how to reprogram the new paradigm. And until you learn to do that, I don't care how hard you work, what other information you gather, your results don't change. Period. It's a black and white deal. So let's have a bit of a look at your mind and paradigms. I've spoken a little bit about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. In 1934, there was a man named Dr. Thurman Fleet, and he was a chiropractor in San Antonio, Texas. And he said, the mind is an activity and not a thing. So because no one has ever seen the mind, when we think about having to change a part of our mind, it creates a lot of chaos and confusion. And he said, I'm going to create an image that we can work with. So when we really think about what we need to do to create permanent change, we have a picture to work with. In fact, just close your eyes, just real quick, 20 seconds. And I want you to imagine the front door of your house, or your unit, or your elevator. And I want you to walk inside, and I want you to notice whether you open the door from the right to the left or the left to the right. And I want you to walk inside. And I want you to notice what's on the floor and what's on the walls. Whether when you walk in, you go straight, or you turn left, or you turn right. Are there any windows around? Everyone open their eyes. Did everyone see a picture? You all went to the front door of your house. You mentally went, I don't know, how does my door open? Does it all like that? You all did that, didn't you? So because we think in pictures. We don't think in words or numbers or anything else. So we need a picture to work with when we think about changing something. Who is inclined to think about the brain when you think about changing the mind? Anyone? Hopefully you all know better. The brain is an electronic switching station. It's very, very powerful. but it's not the mind. So he created this little diagram for us to work with. He said, let the large circle represent the mind, let the small circle represent the body. The mind controls the body. Whatever's going on in the mind will be expressed to and through the physical body, and it'll show up in results. There's two parts to the mind. We've got the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Now, the experts, the psychologists, the neuroscientists will tell us that there's plenty of parts to the mind, but these are the main two parts that we really need to be concerned about. The mind controls the body. It's actually whatever's going on in the subconscious mind that influences your behaviour, it influences your vibration, and it impacts your results. So until you get change there, the results don't change. This is why we have people leaving university, 3 or 4 degrees running off the end of their business name, and they're broke. They don't know how to get a job. They don't know what to do. They've got all of this information intellectually in their conscious mind, but they don't know how to get better results. They're unhappy, they're sick, they're broke, because they haven't learned how to change the paradigm. The paradigms are in the subconscious mind. Until we change that, the results cannot change. It is impossible. They might change for a little bit. Has anyone had that? You know, the business income goes up for a couple of months, then it goes straight back to what it's always been. In fact, it probably goes worse, and then it kind of levels out again. Has anyone put on 10 kilos and lost the 10 kilos, and then 6 months later you put it back on again? Come on, don't lie. No. But right, this is what happens. It doesn't change permanently because the paradigm hasn't changed. But when you learn how to change the paradigm, the results change permanently. It is impossible for you to go back. So that's what we have to do here. Bob Proctor said, this is the most valuable idea I've ever learned. When Sandy Gallagher spoke about this, she thought it was ridiculous. I mean, she was a banking law attorney, graduated top of her class across all the universities, US and Great Britain. She thought, this is ridiculous. When I first thought it, I thought, how the heck have I never come across this? Now, I got it intellectually in the beginning. I was like, yeah, I've seen that, or I understand it. Years of study, and I kind of finally understand what it means. And I look at Bob, and at 85, Bob Proctor, and he's so excited to learn and to keep studying this because his conscious level of awareness just keeps growing and growing and growing. And I feel like that as well, that there's every day I get up and I love and look forward to my day. Because I know that I'm growing, that I'm changing paradigms, that I'm working with people who are creative, upbeat, and enthusiastic about life, who are really soaring to those new heights. I mean, who wants to surround themselves with people who are looking forward to going backwards? Like, we wouldn't consciously, if we thought about it, do that, would we? But we're creatures of habit. If you look around the 5 or 6 people that you spend a lot of time with and look at what they're earning and look at what you're earning, it's probably pretty similar. Because our paradigms are programmed genetically and environmentally. So we wouldn't consciously choose to surround ourselves with people who are plateauing, who are stuck, who are looking forward to going backwards. But sometimes this is what happens. Oh, is that our warning sign? 20 minutes to go. Not sure what's going on there. Some mood lighting. Nicole will go and sort it out. Maybe it's who knows. Anyway, at least you've got light on the stage. So how do we change this? How do we change the paradigm? Repetition forms the habit. There's only 2 known ways to change a paradigm. One is an emotional impact. So you experience something that shocks you, that forces you to change. It usually involves a fair bit of trauma, and it's not that nice. Your hand is being forced. The only other known way to change a paradigm is repetition. The continuous spaced repetition of a new idea or concept. Over a reasonable period of time will change a person's level of awareness, which in turn changes their paradigm. But you have to do this. I can't do it for you. Your partner can't do it for you. Nobody can do it for you except you. Repetition changes paradigms. When we learn to fly, it's all repetition. You will go out for an hour and you will just learn to fly straight and level. You wouldn't think that that's hard to do. But when it's not natural for you to do it, it's really hard, and it takes a lot of energy to be able to do it. Any other pilots in the room? Private? No? Anyone love flying? Anyone want to fly in that private jet? Yeah, good. Repetition forms the habit. We've got to practice. We've got to do things over and over. We've got to learn how to do this. We've got to learn to think in new and different ways. We've got to learn how to change the paradigm. And then we've got to get involved with repetition. We call it the 6-minute circus. When you go up and do circuits, you could do like an hour of circuits, just learning how to take off and land. It takes 6 minutes usually in a little 172, putt round. 6 minutes, and you do it like how many times can you do it? 10 times in an hour. The same thing over and over again. And you know what happens when you get into it? When you start to learn to fly, especially when you start to do your navigation training. So I'm in control of the aircraft, I know how to start it up, take off door. You've got to do navigation. And so not only do you have to be in control of the damn thing, now you've got to get it from A to B. And you've got maps on your lap, and you're trying to, steer with the, it's really hard. And then you do 1 nav and 2 navs, and by the 3rd nav, you're like, I can do this. I'm pretty cool. I can fly an airplane and fly it from A to B, not just around in circles. Repetition forms the habit. You're moving an idea from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. It becomes part of you. You don't have to think about how to do it. It just happens. So we want to make certain that we're creating these automatic paradigms, these automatic habits, this habitual way of living that is capable of creating the results that we want. Because the paradigms that are programmed in your subconscious mind, whatever level you are giving you your present results today. If you want better results, if you want to improve the quality of your life, if you want to soar to breathtaking new heights, it is necessary for you to create that paradigm shift. And everyone can do this. There might be setbacks, there might be turnbacks, there might be alternative destinations that you have to go to on the way. But if you persist with that paradigm shift, if you keep on practicing, if you get involved in an organised study program that you no longer operate on a hit and miss basis, then you can get to anywhere you want to go. Truly. It doesn't mean that you might not have to navigate to a slightly different course of action or take a different approach, but you will get there. Your present results are a product of your level of awareness. Let's just think about that. There are an infinite level of frequencies that exist in the universe. Just imagine lines on the page. In fact, you've all got a little line notebook there. So I want you to pull up a fresh page. So you've just got lines on the page. Now I want you to imagine those lines on the page are frequencies. Does anyone listen to 97.3? Yep. It's a nice station. But you can only hear what's on 97.3, can't you? You can't hear what's on 105.3 while you're tuned into 97.3. Would you agree with me? Makes sense. Very logical. That's a frequency. And you can hear what's on that frequency. 105.3 is a different frequency. Would you agree with me, yes or no? Yes. So I want you to go 3 lines from the bottom and put a little star. This frequency is your present results. You are very aware of the results that you can create on this frequency. You are dialed into, tapped into right now. You're very, very aware of the results there. Your goal, your dream, the thing you desire to create, I want you to count 15 lines up the page and put a star on the right-hand side. And I want you to write next to that star, my goal. Your goal, what it is that you really want, exists in a frequency beyond the one you are presently living in. You can see it in your imagination. Would you agree? As you were seeing it in your imagination, you were tapped into it. You were on that frequency. Now, what happens tonight when you leave the room and go back home? Are you still in that goal frequency, or are you back in present circumstance? Present circumstance. So you were there, you did experience that in your imagination, but what we have to learn how to do is hold ourselves in that space for long enough so that we can start to really fuse with the feeling, we can embody the new behaviours, the new actions, and literally move ourselves onto that frequency. The second you make the committed decision to say, this I will do, it is done, you are on that frequency. And the second that you make that decision, you are connected with it, because every frequency is connected to the next. How do you get from 97.3 to 105.3? You dial it, turn the dial.
Make a decision.
Make a decision, exactly. You make a decision. I don't want to listen to 97.3 anymore. I only want to listen to what's on 105.3. I don't really know if it's nicer music or not, but your goal is nicer. That's where the better results are. That's where the improved quality of life is. That's where the happiness, the joy, the control, the confidence is. At whatever increased level you desire to experience, it's on that higher frequency. You are an energetic being. You are a vibrational being. And you can get onto that frequency. And when you're on that frequency, your conscious awareness has expanded. And you can now hear and see and connect with all of the resources that are also on that frequency. Money is energy. It doesn't matter whether something's $8,000, $10,000, $80,000, $8 million. It's just energy. It's frequency. When you dial into it, you start to get in harmony with it. And as you then move and take action in that frequency, you line up to the good that you desire. This is what we have to learn how to do. So if we just... Oh, Nicole, you might have to help me out here. This is not shifting. Wonder why. Oh, there we go. Quit trying harder, ask for help. Pretty simple. When I wanted to learn to fly, I didn't just get in that aircraft and have a crack. Did I? That would be dumb. True story though, would you agree? Like, that would be stupid. Like, you actually need a teacher. I actually needed someone who knew more than me to show me exactly what I needed to do to learn how to fly that aircraft. Would you agree? I had grown up in a family of pilots. My mum and dad were pilots, so I was very familiar with what I probably needed to do. I grew up with the maps and the books and the textbooks, but I actually needed a mentor. I actually needed a coach. I needed someone to get in that aircraft with me every day and show me exactly what I needed to do. I had to ask for help. I said, could you teach me how to fly? And when I heard Bob talk about, not that story, when I heard Bob talk about this idea of becoming aware of how to do this, I thought, God, that's so true. It's exactly the same. Like, you know, we can consciously kind of know how to do some of this, but we've got to really learn how to do it and become really good at doing it. And to do that, we need the support of a coach or mentor. And that's where we come in. And that's where I want to talk to you about my coaching program. And yes, of course, I'm trying to sell you. Because selling is helping a person get something they really want. That's what it is. And if any one of you are in business for yourself, or you're in a career, or part of what you do is out there to help people, you're in sales too. And don't you think it would be nice if you sold a bit more of whatever you do to the people that need it most? Would more people benefit from that? I mean, we've got to become really comfortable with this idea of sales, with this idea of buying, with this idea of investing, of this idea of asking for help. And when you ask for help, go to someone who's proved by results that they know what the heck they're talking about. Like, I wanted to learn with the chief flying instructor. I didn't want to just learn with some upstart. Been flying for 5 seconds. I don't think that my parents would have allowed that anyway. Like, I wanted to really work with someone who had demonstrated by results that they knew exactly what to do with that aircraft if something went wrong. I wanted them to be able to teach me how to be completely in control and a really safe, calm, competent pilot. I wanted to have, you know, the best training I could get, and I wanted the bush training. I'm a girl from the bush. I wanted to know if I got caught out west in a dust storm and there was a bit of a crosswind on that Charleville airstrip, exactly how I was going to get it on the ground. And that's what we have to do. We have to really think about. Go to someone that's demonstrated by results that they know what they're doing. Bob's 85. There is not a person alive on the planet today that knows how to teach a paradigm shift better than him. I've been working with Bob for nearly 5 years every single day. I travel to Canada every few months to work with him. I mean, if you're looking for serious change, serious growth, you want to get involved in this. Because I promise you, it'll be the best investment of your entire life. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that either. Remember this, that an aircraft takes off into the wind, not with it. So when we think about moving forward with anything, if we're not experiencing a little resistance, we're probably moving in the wrong direction. In fact, with taking off, the more resistance you have, the greater that wind is coming down the street and the faster you get off the ground. Do we have those forms, Nicole? I just want to run through what that is. So there's a couple of options tonight. Of course, you can book in for a discovery call. No sweat. This little form here, you just fill that card out. In fact, I've got some of my coaches in the room. Do you just want to stand up? Sarah Bascom, Alan Brady, Jodie Overton. Some of my amazing team coaches. So if you want to stick around and have a chat to us, have a chat to them, and we can always book you in for a discovery call and really sit down. Don't just assume you figured it all out here tonight. Like really take that opportunity to sit down and have a call. So if you see this little card on your table, this little inquire card, this was an idea that Bob gave me a few years ago. He said, just get him to fill out this form, Karen, and just hand it in and we'll contact you and we'll book you in for a discovery call. There will always be another reason for you to not do it. In fact, if your paradigm is really loud now, giving you all the reasons why you shouldn't, that's exactly why you should. Because you're on the verge of a breakthrough. The more resistance there is, the bigger breakthrough for you. And you can always measure what you're giving up. You can always measure the money that's got to go out of your bank account, the bit more credit card debt you might have to get, the little bit of time, 20 minutes twice a day. You can always measure what you've got to give up, but you can never measure what you're going to get. And our paradigm has us so focused on thinking about what we're going to give up that we fail to see what we can create. But you've already seen it tonight. You saw it in your imagination, you saw it in the visualization, and you already know it in your heart. So just have the courage to act on that. You don't need the time, you don't need the money, you don't need anything else but courage. Come and have a chat. Talk to me before you leave the room. We will figure out a plan, we will figure out a way. Money is never a valid objection not to follow through on something. And I don't care how hard you argue that point with me, it's never a valid objection. There is always a way of getting you into this. Time is never a valid objection. You will actually create more time in your day and become 10 times more productive. Someone else's opinion, your partner, that's never a valid objection because they're going to benefit so much from you getting involved in this. They will thank you. I've had people get involved in this that haven't even told their partner for the first month. They're like, what the hell have you been doing? And they're so grateful to that person. But it might be illogical for you to make that decision tonight. Do the illogical. Just once in your life, do the illogical. And I promise you, you'll be so glad that you did. Make a committed decision and back it with action. It's as simple as that. Decide what you want and decide what you're prepared to get it. And don't hold back. Go all in. Give it everything you've got. And I promise you, if you do exactly what I tell you to do, not half, not three quarters, if you really just open your mind. I'm not here to BS you. I'm here to tell you the truth of what you can really do. And if you just lean into that, there is nothing that you will not be able to accomplish. Clearly understand that to get somewhere you've never been, you've got to do things you've never done. You must behave differently. And start with that in the room tonight. Don't leave those goals, those dreams, those things that you would really love to create. Don't let that paradigm talk you out of it. Just really follow that quiet voice within. And when you do that, on the other side of that terror barrier, feel the fear and do it anyway. On the other side of it, that's where you experience freedom. So you have two choices. Either the paradigm controls us, or we have freedom. It's up to you. I want to thank you so much for joining me here this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure to share this new seminar with you, Fly. I'm so happy and grateful that you are here. Please stick around, talk to each other, talk to someone that you haven't met before. They're just as nice as you. Share your goals, share your vision, find an accountability partner, someone to hold you to that. You'll be so glad that you did. Thank you very much.